Antarctica is the planet's last great wilderness. Much of it remains pristine and untouched by human activity. I was lucky enough to travel there in 1982 to King George Island off the Antarctic Peninsula. Back then we knew almost nothing of climate change, and our biggest concern about Antarctica was who controlled it. Argentina's violation of Britain's research centres in South Georgia and in the South Sandwich Islands has jeopardised the international peaceful cooperation. Now its very existence as a frozen continent is being threatened with rising temperatures, contributing to the breakup of vast ice shelves. And last year, a record high of 18.3 degrees centigrade recorded on the Antarctic Peninsula, unheard of in these freezing climes. And yet, what happens here will have dramatic impact on the rest of the planet. The melting of just a fraction of Antarctica's ice mass could lead to catastrophic sea level rises and further accelerate global warming. And that's why teams of scientists from around the world base themselves here to study the changes afoot. Nadia Frontier is on her first posting with the British Antarctic Survey. She's been capturing a bit of her life out there for us.
I'm Nadia and I'm a marine biologist working at Rothera Research Station on the West Antarctic Peninsula. This is a really unique place to work and habitats are relatively unexplored. We are here in Ryder Bay, just about to go for our dive. This is our underwater office and it's a magnificent place to collect lots of samples. We dive throughout the summer and the winter to allow seasonal comparisons. We collect multiple species ranging from sea cucumbers to sea spiders to sea stars to predict what future changes will have and understand better how Antarctic ecosystems function.
Earlier, I spoke to Nadia about her work and her personal feelings about climate change. For the community of scientists who are on Antarctica, is climate change their principal obsession, or in fact, is there a whole raft of science that is being looked at and climate change is a bit part player?
The aim of our research group here is absolutely framed against a backdrop of climate change. The seabed in Antarctica, compared to other habitats, is relatively understudied, and we don't understand a lot of the basic parameters of how species respond, to environmental change, how they even respond to their habitat, their natural life history, how they grow, how they reproduce, how they interact with each other, what function they have in the ecosystem. And without this basic data, we cannot begin to make future predictions, and time really is not on our side.
But I gather that there is evidence of change going on with icebergs, and that icebergs themselves can impact even on the work that you do on the seabed.
Yes, the impact of iceberg scour has been monitored since 2004, and these studies are conducted every year, and they show that the intensity and frequency of iceberg scour on the seabed has increased, which is having a direct impact on the mortality of the seabed and the communities that live there. As the climate is warming, the sea ice is not trapping and immobilizing these icebergs, so they're more free to move.
So what would your message be to the delegates turning up in Glasgow for this absolutely critical COP26?
We absolutely need to listen to the science. We need to listen to the signs that are showing that the climate is changing and that habitats are under pressure. Species cannot adapt fast enough. We are going to experience a completely different world. And it feels as if delegates are not listening and they're not responding, listening to the science and acting with some meaningful and concrete actions that will generate change.
Your life in Antarctica must be, tough and cold at times. And I'm wondering, when you're down on the seabed, how you feel about the species you are seeing and the extent to which you actually believe within yourself you may be seeing them really, towards the ends of their existence.
it's not the Earth and the planetary systems that need saving, it's us as humans. So I'm looking at Antarctic ecosystems that have been there for and have evolved for absolutely millennia. And I know within myself, I'm not worried because they will be able to recover. Without humans, life will regenerate. I think what I believe and strive for is that we humans should be able to coexist with species, and we should be able to live on the planet together. And at the moment, we are absolutely not achieving that.
Nadia Franche, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you very much.